So today, let's talk about the process of trend spotting and sector picking. All right, at this point, we've done almost $1 billion worth of acquisition transactions in acquisitions.com, and spotting the right industries is one of the most important things that we try to do with our clients or roll up that we work on. Now, I'll start with sharing my journey in how I started in the tech space, and that's where kind of like I made a lot of money to start with when I was in my early 20s. And I'll show you how to look at industries and overall trends and how to know that you're picking the right ones if you decide to start a business or buy a business or roll up a business or even advise and connect between businesses. So for me personally, it began with simple yet effective back then strategy. We leveraged Facebook ads for what we call app installs for an app company that I pretty much bought for free back then. And we have probably other videos just on that. We were among the, call it, pioneers of using Facebook ads for app installs. And we got into an arbitrage opportunity where the cost of advertising was a small fraction of the overall revenue that generated from app payments. Pretty much back then, we used to turn like $1 in ad spend into $3 or $4 in revenues on the same day, scaling to millions a year. And obviously we received clients that came back again and again and gave us 100% profitability. So what's the lesson there? I think it's, first of all, understanding the acceleration of change. It's the idea that tech and innovation is changing super fast. Like what used to work back then is not working anymore. But chasing after a new trend is not the goal in the end of the day. The real goal is finding a way to being an innovator yourself in a sector that got some changes going on, and you can spot them fast and ride and be one of the first in those sectors. So how do we identify scalable opportunities? I think that to spot a potential in one of those trends, I think it's about starting by asking on any business idea at all to ask yourself, is it even scalable, right? Like, if it's a business that you're looking to get into or buy, ask yourself, can it grow organically? Is it possible to acquire businesses in that space, ideally at small multiples, and then create value by integrating technology with more companies to create overall higher valuation? Like, I would always want to start there. And in today's world, understanding, for example, how to leverage AI starting to be crucial, right? That's why actually I invested in an AI influencer company called Luan AI that is focused specifically on that. So how do we stay ahead of the curve? That's the real question in the end of the day. And I think it comes down to building this toolkit that you learn over time. As you've been more and more in business, you get your toolkit, your principles that you can use again and again. And at this point, I'm not that old, but I've seen at this point more than 15 years of different changes and businesses and sectors and whatnot and trends. So I think the most important thing is to start by immersing ourselves in knowledge in whatever looking interesting for you. If it's curating a list of the best articles or set up like Google alerts or listen to interviews with leading CEOs in the space, or you can dive into industry magazine, analyst reports, or S1 filings of public companies. Those are great and can give you tons of information. Like the digital age now has made it got us abundance of information accessible to us, right? And most of it is nowadays available freely online. And it's not all, of course. Next, you want to find a way to network and learning from other people. Like seek out successful entrepreneur, join mastermind groups in those sectors that you're considering, and connect with investment bankers and venture capitalists and private equity firms if you can, because those individuals, a lot of them saw the high and lows of different industries, and many times their insights are gold, especially if it's someone who's been involved in a sector for many years. Like in venture capital firms, some of the people that I know have been in that space for 30-40 years and they've seen some stuff going on. So if you ask them questions about the space, they can really share with you very meaningful information. So after we do that, then we can formulate some kind of a prediction, right? Like when we learn this newfound knowledge, we start making educated guesses about the future. and you want to do it in like 1, 3, 10 years down the line and start to kind of like make an educated guess of what you think might happen then. Like right now, again, back to AI. AI is dominating hard. Like it's a super trend, right? So ignoring it, like, is potentially a mistake. And I think personally, I think it's set to revolutionize, if not destroy, entire industries. Because think about the impact of AI. Like if you compare this to reflecting on how like previous innovations like the internet and e-commerce have reshaped industries, AI's influence on sectors like accounting, for example, or whatnot could be massive. And they can super transform those boring sectors like pretty much overnight with what we see going on just now. And like think about Jeff Bezos with Amazon. They did, I mean, he bet everything on the internet when it was still a gamble. Like people laughed at him, right? And it makes me wonder, what if it gone like a totally different route? Like it's wild how spotting the right trend at the right time can be a game changer. Like, would we even know him as Jeff Bezos if he went to build, I don't know, the biggest accounting firm in the world, or trying to do that? Probably we wouldn't know Jeff Bezos as Jeff Bezos right now, right? So that's what's fascinating with picking the right trend, internet in his case. And with AI now, it's not just sci-fi stuff anymore. Like I read somewhere that AI could start making big decisions in companies very, very soon, to like maybe even talking like I've seen people saying that they think about having like AI taking over CEO roles in the future, because it can process info like no human could ever do. So it's kind of exciting, but it's also a bit freaky, right? Like imagine having a robot boss. I think we're not far away from that, or at least having like one visionary and many other executives or C-suite AI C-suite executives. So I think it's very doable that we're getting or progressing towards that world. So any trend or jumping on the tech train specifically super early is very important if tech is your thing. And or even if you go to a boring sector and find a way to insert tech into those boring sectors, that's a lot of money can be made there as well. The most important thing is being ahead of the curve, like catching onto a trend before it explodes, before everyone knows about it. I think that could literally set the direction of everyone's life. For me personally, that's where I really started making good money, where I was able to be one of the first in a trend, in an industry. In my case, like I started making really good money when I flipped domains and then bought an app company and was one of the first one running ads. And it was just like a short-term arbitrage that allowed us to scale in a way that nowadays will never work. I mean, just imagine if you could get into some of those old school industries right now, but was able to find like a brand new tech approach with AI innovations, right? I think that if you start to think about the world of business that way, possibilities could be endless. So look, in summary, the world's changing fast with new opportunities coming up like left and right all the time. And I think spotting those trends early, that's where the real magic happens and you could really prosper. So yeah, go use that. Hopefully you got some value from this. Go create the world that you want. It's your life in the end of the day. Don't give up. I love you. Bye bye.